You'd think an airport is just a place you pass through, but for 17-year-old Zoe Washington, Newark Liberty International wasn't transit. It was a threshold, a shaky bridge between her present and her future. She squeezed a boarding pass for San Francisco so tight it felt like it might tear. But that paper carried the weight of every late night, every burnt solder joint, every equation burned into her dreams. In her hand was possibility. In her backpack, she carried the stochastic field modulator, a prototype so odd-looking no one could guess it was her ticket to the National Youth Innovators Symposium. Got everything? Zoe? Her father's voice cut through the hubbub of the terminal, the echo of overhead announcements, rolling suitcases, and distant conversations. Marcus Washington didn't need to raise his voice to anchor her hope. He was tall and steady, plain in a grey suit, but his eyes, sharp, kind, held a world of quiet confidence. Slides, modulator packed securely, toothbrush, yes. He made it sound casual, but Zoe felt that familiarity shield her. Her flight to San Francisco, his to somewhere else, entirely. You're going to be amazing, he said, because she already was. Just walk in there, explain what you know, and trust that your brilliance speaks for itself. He hugged her like he still could when scraped knees or broken hearts hit. Just call me before you board, and when you land. I will, Dad. Love you. Love you more. She slipped into the security line, her laptop in a bin, her shoes in another, and lastly, her project in its own. Just how the TSA site had said, for sensitive electronics. Her heart beat louder than the metal detector's ping. Please let this go smoothly. Agent Peterson, neat beard and neutral expression, studied the X-ray. The image of tangled coiled wires, circuit boards, blinking LEDs encased in clear plastic, made his fingers pause. Whose is it? He asked. Mine, she replied, calm, polite, but everything beneath it shaking. Swab for explosives, clean. But he hesitated. Supervisor, he said. In came Karen Miller, late 40s, rigid bob haircut, brows already furrowed before she spoke. She looked at Zoe, then the device, never the other way around. Science project, she echoed like it tasted wrong. Smells homemade. Zoe's voice nearly cracked when she began to explain the modulator's principles. Quantum tunneling and localized energy fields. She had her professor's letter, schematics, everything organized. Miller only sneered. Don't reach for your bag. Zoe froze. She stood in front of everyone, falsely accused, humiliated. Stochastic field modulator, the agent recited, baffled. Sounds fancy. But when Zoe said she was headed to the National Youth Innovators Symposium in San Francisco, Miller's skepticism hardened. Too polished, too rehearsed. The teenager sounded rehearsed. A story too tidy. Come with me, she said. We'll chat someplace more private. In that claustrophobic little room, Zoe still tried. She spoke science, offered documentation, explained that the device was inert. No battery, no power source, no way to function without an external generator. But Miller saw through everything. $50 words, made-up nonsense, trigger, detonator. It ceased being about security. It became performance, authority weaponized. Zoe whispered, I'm a student. I'm a scientist. Miller shot back. You're uncooperative. We're calling the police. Zoe's world slowed. The police's arrival felt like a mob closing in. She repeated her name, her age, who she was. She told Officer Riggs everything again. But the anger was already setting. Mix of tears, rage, hopelessness. She asked for her professor's letter. Miller lied. I told her to stop. Zoe froze. Riggs nodded, took Zoe's ID, and announced plans to escort her to the airport substation, seize her property, grill her until the threat was resolved. She felt trapped. Her flight, the symposium, her future, all crumbling. Then, her lifeline. She's a minor. She asked for one call. They allowed it. She dialed. Her dad, still near gate 71. Every ring echoed her fear. "Dad," she whispered, calm now. "I have a problem." She told him. Name, terminal, checkpoint C. Supervisor Miller accusing her of a bomb. Police called. Officer there. She's being detained. Through the phone she could hear Miller's derision. Then her father's voice changed. Sharp, calm, occupationally dangerous calm. "Don't answer any more questions. Hand the phone to the officer." She handed it over, trembling. "Officer Riggs." He sighed. "I don't need to talk to her father." "He insists," Zoe said. Reluctantly, Riggs took it. Marcus introduced himself. Special Agent, FBI, National Security, Counterterrorism. "I'm here too in this airport. Don't do anything until I get there." 3 minutes. That was all it took to shift everything. Riggs's certainty melted. Miller's smug mask cracked. Then he appeared. No flourish, no ripcord panic, just presence. Calm, measured, composed. She was a kid, but his composure cut deeper than anger ever could. He scanned the room. Zoe, red-eyed but steady. Modulator, Miller, Officer Riggs. Then he got straight to the point. "You're the one who called the police on my 17-year-old daughter." No shouting, just light. "I'm Marcus Washington." He unpacked what Zoe had tried to explain. The project, the honor, the professor, the device, the schematics, all of it. He pointed out the parts anyone could buy. Standard capacitors, a Raspberry Pi, copper coils. This is exactly what she said. A science project. Not inexplicable. Just overlooked. Paralysis. Miller's face drained red. She sputtered protocol. He shifted to Riggs. "Why didn't you verify? De-escalate? Ask for documentation?" That poor kid offered it. All this could have been solved in 5 minutes, with basic listening. Miller saw him as a challenge. He asked again. Name, employee ID, officer, body cam footage, and every detail in a full report by noon tomorrow. "Zoe, retrieve your documents, get your stuff. Head to your gate." Anything unclear? Crickets. Then terminal manager Henderson bustled in, clueless, trying corporate soothing. Marcus didn't spare him the balm. "De-escalation window is closed. You facilitated profiling. Your staff crossed a line." He handed Henderson the letter. Nobel laureate professor's praise. The manager's face crumpled. He understood the scale of the mistake. Zoe stood strong, silent. Marcus let them know of the formal complaints to come. DOT, FAA, Port Authority, Civil Rights Review, and demanded Miller's files, all witnesses identified. Riggs, Internal Affairs is waiting. Then, as father, he asked, "Her flight boards in 20 minutes. You personally escort her. Upgrade her seat to first class. Explain the apology to the flight crew. Treat her with respect." That was not a suggestion. Henderson complied, hands shaking. Zoe secured her project, zipped her bag. She looked at Miller one last time, not triumphant, but sad. Her private power had been weaponized. Marcus squeezed Zoe's shoulder. "Let's go." He added softly to Miller, "The only monster in this room was the one you brought with you." Then he left. Consequences followed fast. Miller was placed on leave, then fired for gross misconduct. The video of innocent girl nearly detained for science went viral. Justice trended. United Airlines stumbled through tepid apologies. Officer Riggs got a harsh internal memo. Demoted, reassigned, a stain on his file. Marcus and Zoe settled quietly, then donated the money to scholarships for young women of color in STEM. Principal, not prize. Zoe landed in San Francisco the next morning. When it was her turn to present, she stood in front of judges, not as a frightened kid, but someone forged by adversity. Her voice carried the power of survival, of brilliance, of justice reclaimed. When they announced first place and a full ride to MIT, it was more than a win. It was the moment the dream she'd protected so fiercely revealed itself, unbroken. Weeks later, on their tranquil backyard porch at dusk, she looked at her dad. "I saw what powerlessness feels like. It's hollow and cold. And then I saw real power. It wasn't loud. It wasn't a badge. It was calm. Truth." He smiled gently. "The badge makes people listen. The truth does the rest." This isn't just an airport story. It's a story about how prejudice can hijack safety, how easy it is to mistake curiosity for threat, how one person's calm clarity can bring real justice. And maybe right now, somebody watching this video needs to hear that. A quiet moment, a strong truth. They can still win. If this story resonated with you, share it. Hit like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Because the world needs to know real power isn't loud, it's true. And sometimes that's enough to change everything.